Hello. Welcome to Friday Live. It's I usually don't do it on Fridays, but I thought let's try a weekday, and I want to see how this works. Friday का live कैसा जाता है, and also if how many people are able to join us on a Friday. आज setting भी different है, जगह भी दूसरी है. So hello everybody. So today I'm excited. I feel like मैं बिल्कुल जब हमने थेरेपी स्टार्ट की थी तो वन ऑफ द टॉपिक्स जो बहुत ज़रूरी था हमारे लिए, हम आज उसके ऊपर बात करें. जो हमें लाइक थेरेपिस्ट बनने के लिए हमें जो 3 कोर कंडीशंस थी कि सबसे पहले आपको इसको मास्टर करना है, उसमें से एक थी एम्पैथी. तो आज हम बात करेंगे ये एम्पैथी क्या होती है. आई एम अवेयर कि लोग बहुत ज़्यादा एम्पैथी के बारे में बात करने लगे हैं और समटाइम्स वो उसको सिंपैथी से कंफ्यूज कर देते हैं, और अक्सर वो जहाँ सिंपैथी कहना चाह रहे होते हैं वहाँ एम्पैथी कह देते हैं, या बड़ा लूजली ये टर्म यूज़ करने लगे हैं कि हाँ आप तो बहुत एम्पैथिक हैं, या आपके अंदर बहुत एम्पैथी और मैंने इसके साथ एम्पैथी किया. सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू आस्क अ फेलो थेरेपिस्ट कि उनकी नज़र में एम्पैथी क्या है. बिकॉज इसलिए हम थेरेपिस्ट बनते हैं तो नॉट जस्ट डू वी लर्न द कॉन्सेप्ट बट वी स्टार्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग इट, और फिर आप जब किसी चीज़ को प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तो उसका एक आपका अपना फ्लेवर हो जाता है. तो हाय फहद, हाय एवरीबडी, हेलो एवरीबडी हु सेइंग हेलो टू मी, हु हैवंट सेड हेलो, प्लीज इंट्रोड्यूस हेलो, से हेलो टू एवरीबडी एंड डू टेल मी वेयर यू आर कमिंग इन फ्रॉम. मैं बात करना शुरू हो गई अचानक एम्पैथी के बारे में क्योंकि मैं एक्साइटेड हूँ. मैं ये किया नहीं, सलाम दुआ पहले. थैंक यू गाइज. A lot of people are requesting to be in the video, लेकिन आज की वीडियो जो है वो खतीजा के साथ है. खतीजा एक थेरेपिस्ट है और मेरी बहुत अच्छी दोस्त भी हैं, और आई थिंक थेरेपी का सफ़र जब सीखने वाला जिसके साथ किया होता है ना, उसके साथ एक अलग लेवल ऑफ बॉन्ड होता है. So I'm going to call Khadija very soon, but just until then, waiting for a few of you to join, and also just say hello, hi, let me know आवाज़ बिल्कुल सही है. आज मैंने कुछ नया ट्रिक ट्राई किया है, एक नया लाइक आई हैव अ न्यू डिवाइस, प्लस ऑल्सो आई हैव, खतीजा ने मुझे आइडिया दिया कि आपको डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब पे फ़ोन पे रखना चाहिए, तो मैंने डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब पे रख लिया. Hi Noor, of course, so good to see you. I don't think I've seen you on my lives before, so it's really good. What kind of therapy? This is psychotherapy, guys. Mel is asking, kaun si therapy hai? So this is psychotherapy, so just talk therapy, but Khadija also does sand therapy, which is so exciting. I don't do sand therapy and I haven't done it, so I'm curious to also speak about ke sand therapy kya hoti hai. Hello Subika, hello. I'm going to try and keep it more Urdu, but in case somebody's here who doesn't understand, I'm happy to go bilingual as well, and Khadija will also be knowing bilingual. So I'm getting requests from people who want to be in my video. I'm very curious as to what you guys want to talk about, but let's go ahead, and I'm going to now check on Khadija and have her come in. First live, guys. So please do applaud to encourage her कि वो आई हैं. Hi Khadija.
Hi Roj, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am good. How's it going?
Can everybody hear us okay? Because I
Yes.
just suddenly realized जैसी खतीजा ने बात की कि मेरा माइक तो चल रहा है, मुझे आवाज तो मेरे फोन से ही आ रही है.
अच्छा.
Khadija, do you hear a lot of noise like at the background, like my AC working?
No, that's fine for me.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Then we'll just.
But if anybody is having any issue or can't hear me, just let me know. I'll put my earphones on.
Yeah, guys.
But if it's fine, go ahead like this.
मजे की बात है, मैंने खतीजा से कहा खतीजा हेडफोन जरूर रखना, और
रख लेना.
मेरा हेडफोन काम करना बंद हो गया. This is how we learn. Khadija, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm feeling good, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me on your live Instagram. I've always been watching them, and you do a great job. So it's lovely being here.
Thank you for joining, and thank you for creating that beautiful page. And I want you to talk a little bit about तुमने एक page भी बनाई थी. मैं बहुत खुश होती हूँ जब देसी थेरेपिस्ट पेज बनाता है, क्योंकि you need in the world there's so much on mental health and therapy, but from a देसी perspective बहुत कम. एक तो हम mental health के बारे में बात नहीं करते, और फिर Instagram पे pages नहीं होते. तो खतीजा अपने आप को, मैंने ऑलरेडी लोगों को स्नीक पीक दे दिया है कि खतीजा सैंड थेरेपी भी करती हैं, खतीजा साइकोथेरेपी भी करती हैं. तो खतीजा, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am a therapist based in Karachi, and I'm an integrative and sand play therapist. So हम training में साथ थे in our psychotherapy training. I then additionally went on to being trained in sand play therapy, and I know the word kind of suggests play, so it's often misconstrued as something that would be for children, but it actually is very effective for adults as well. And
Okay.
sand play therapy is basically non-verbal therapy. So there's not much talking there. And as the name suggests, there's like a sand tray, there's like a bunch of miniatures, and it basically is directly like healing takes place through sand and playing with sand and creating like your inner world in your sand tray.
Oh.
And we don't give meaning to it. We don't interpret it in any way. It's basically the work done and the client leaves, and that's about it. And then we kind of just work with that.
Wow.
It's a very,
So
it's
यानी कि
very
वो
deep,
लोग जो
unconscious
कि
work. Gee.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
those people who are not great with expression and talking, यानी कि जो comfortable नहीं है या
Yeah.
जो emotions इतने तकलीफ दे हैं कि उनके ऊपर आप love नहीं दे सकते, या even people they don't know what to talk about, right? मैं क्या करूँगा therapist से बात करके? So this is an excellent form of therapy. इसमें आपको कोई बात ही नहीं करनी, आप आइए and then you will lead the process and there is healing in it.
Yeah, and I
Wonderful.
think it's really, like you said, it works wonders for people who are unable to articulate their feelings, जो थोड़ा struggle
Yes.
करते हैं या एक point पे आते हैं where it's so overwhelming, उनको समझ नहीं आता कि what's the way forward या हम ऐसा क्यों feel कर रहे हैं. I think I've noticed that in my work and stuff, like it's a good breakthrough, like to really see what's
Yeah.
happening.
Of
And the
course.
best part is you don't have to make sense of it. So you
Yeah,
just let the process
exactly.
be.
मतलब
And it's a very
आप
soothing
लोग
healing process.
हाँ I kind of very funny दुआ, लेकिन जैसे अम्मा की दुआ होती है ना, आप दुआ अम्मा कर देती है, अम्मा को नहीं
Yeah.
पता कि आप कहाँ तकलीफ है क्या है, and then you feel better. It's so important, right? This is kind
Yeah.
of like that even though you don't have to identify कि कहाँ तकलीफ है, क्या तकलीफ है, trauma क्या था, हिस्ट्री में नहीं जाना. बहुत सारे क्लाइंट्स बहुत गुरेज करते हैं ना, कहते हैं कि यार आप हमसे इतनी पीछे की बातें मत पूछें, और then more painful sometimes to relive that and talk
To
about
relive the trauma. That's true. And this is a very like unconscious form of healing, and it's very deep in that respect. So I think
Yes.
it's pretty interesting. I think it's also been very sort of fulfilling for my own journey. Like there's a lot of like हर therapy training में होता है ना कि आप खुद अपने बारे में इतना सोचते हैं. So I think there was just so much that you explore about yourself, and it's been a great journey being a part of the whole sand play thing as well.
Yeah.
So
जैसे लोग कहते हैं ना कि आप अब किसी और का फायदा करते हुए ऐसा हो नहीं सकता कि आपका फायदा ना हो. So I think it's like that, right? जब
It's
हम
just
therapy
like that.
कर रहे होते हैं, तो we are also learning so much. Today we
Yeah.
are talking about something interesting. We are talking about, and you suggested the topic, Khadija, so and really amazing. मेरे को यही कहती कि मुझे याद आ गया कि ये एक कोर है, यानी कि empathy के बारे में हम आज बात करेंगे, और empathy एक फाउंडेशन है, पिलर है थेरेपी का. यानी कि अगर आपको थेरेपी में जाना है तो एम्पैथी जरूरी है, लेकिन आम लोगों के लिए भी एम्पैथी बहुत जरूरी है. तो आज हम थोड़ा सा इसको देखेंगे कि व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स ऑफ द एम्पैथी, एंड आई नो दैट यू हैव डन द होमवर्क कि उर्दू में भी एम्पैथी क्या होती है.
क्या होती है?
So tell us a little bit about empathy, and also what led you to this topic.
Yeah, so I was going to come there. I think empathy has been something that I've really sort of been drawn to for a very long time. And like you said, when you come in this field, empathy is the first thing you kind of are taught about. I think it's something you already also carry, and you kind of come into this field because of a lot of the depth in the word itself, which I'll talk about today.
Yes.
And I think given the current situation, hum sare, we're all going through this pandemic. It's a difficult time, and I think at times like these, it's very important for everyone to be there for each other with understanding. There's so much going on for everyone. And I think, like you said, what got me here, I think also the current situation and generally, your own personal experiences, you tend to then reflect on a lot of things. And I think for me, empathy was just something that was constantly standing out. I just felt like it's almost like a way of life, like just one word, and the word that may suggest like एहसास करना, अगर हम उर्दू में इसको देखें किसी और का एहसास समझना, and just कि वैसे तो it's often said, oh, like walking in someone's shoes, or kind of like just understanding how they're feeling, but it's a lot more than that. And so that's what got me to suggest it to you that we could talk about this.
And it's really wonderful what you also said is कि it leads to understanding, यानी कि एहसास जो है वो उससे अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ती है, क्योंकि हम सब ये वर्ड तो बहुत यूज करते हैं ना कि अंडरस्टैंड करो, अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ाओ. And somehow, like, you said the word ehsaas, and I thought of the recent Pakistan Karachi में आजकल, like they're killing these dogs, and I was thinking कि हम, और मैं ये फॉरवर्ड करते हुए ये मैं सोच रही थी कि हमने जनरली एहसास करना ही कम कर दिया है. तो हम सोचते हैं, हम समझते हैं, लेकिन हम किसी के बारे में एहसास नहीं करते. सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस, और क्या हम समझ रहे होते हैं कि हम एहसास कर रहे होते हैं, और कैसे करते हैं?
Yeah, so जिस आप कह रही है ना कि एहसास करना, एंड एहसास जैसे ऑलमोस्ट ऐसे फील होता है कि खत्म हो गया है. It's a lot about, I think, a big part of what I wanted to talk about was empathy towards yourself. Like bachpan se, like when we're growing up, we're kind of always taught ki, I think empathy is, the word is not used, but it's often like, take care of others, ya kisi ko mean nahi hote, rude nahi hote, or anything of that sort. But we're not often directly told that how you should be sort of understanding to yourself. और आप अपने लिए अगर कुछ नहीं करेंगे तो फिर आप वो दूसरे को ऑफर नहीं कर सकते. अगर आप अपने ऊपर इतने क्रिटिकल हैं, there's so much bitterness inside you for your own self, for whatever reason, it's very hard to then offer it to somebody else. I feel like it's almost like everything starts from within. And जब आप अपने आप को थोड़ा सा stabilize कर लें, like make yourself feel better, you automatically then start extending support to others and being there for others.
बिल्कुल सही कह रही हो, कि मुझे ये भी आ रहा है कि जैसे कि I've heard people say तुम मेरा एहसास करो, एंड आई वंडर कि अगर आप पहले खुद अपना एहसास नहीं कर रहे तो दूसरा आपको कैसे एहसास देगा ना. इट्स नॉट जस्ट कि आप दे नहीं सकते, बट आई फील लाइक अगर आपने अपना एहसास नहीं किया तो आप एहसास ले भी नहीं सकते.
नहीं सकते. And like when we talk about empathy, so मैं जब interestingly read कर रही थी, and I was like, like before I would share and explain in a lot more detail, it's basically empathy can be kind of divided into 3 parts. एक होता है किसी के आपने recognize किया of how someone's feeling, or just what someone might be thinking in a certain situation. This comes under cognitive. अगर मैं थोड़ा सा उसको, I also balance the psychology of it a little. And then the second is the emotional aspect of it, where you feel for the other person. That's when, the whole thing of, like we've often heard, walk in somebody else's shoes or understand from their perspective. So that's the emotional aspect of it. And the third aspect of empathy is compassionate empathy, or basically how you behave. So how you are there for someone in need and what their need is, how you respond to it. So like a wholesome form of empathy इन तीनों का collective करके होती है,
और मैं रिकैप करूंगी. मैंने अपना लैपटॉप ले लिया लिखने के लिए, क्योंकि ये बहुत अच्छी बात तुम कर रही हो, जो कि मुझे लाइक आई एम आल्सो लर्निंग. सो एम्पैथी 3 लेवल से, यानी कि एहसास जो है वो 3 लेवल पे. कुछ लोगों ने मुझसे पूछा आप क्या बात कर रही हैं, तो फिर मैंने इसमें जरा जल्दी जाके टॉपिक लिख दिया, इन केस दे मिस्ड इट, इट्स एम्पैथी. तो एहसास 3 लेवल पे होता है, आप कह रही हैं. पहला कॉग्निटिव,
which is कि आप सोच सकते हैं कि अगला बंदा क्या सोच रहा है. दूसरा इमोशनल, where you feel for the other person, कि वो क्या फील कर रहे हैं या उनकी एक्सपीरियंस किस किस्म के हैं. And the third is compassionate sort of empathy, where how you respond to them in need, like what they need from you, what kind of support they need. And it's very important. You right at the beginning of the session, you said that there's often a misunderstanding between empathy and sympathy. And it's a very thin line, और वहाँ पे we have to be very careful, because sympathy is like you're feeling sorry, और हमें किसी के ऊपर pity नहीं करना, like nobody wants pity, and nobody is in a situation जिससे वो बाहर नहीं आ सकते. We're all resilient, we all have the ability to get back up, and all we need is like support and presence,
तो आपने रेस्क्यू नहीं करना है, जाकर
रेस्क्यू नहीं करना, फिक्स नहीं
करना है, एहसास करना है,
एहसास करना है. And I think ये बहुत मैंने ये पढ़ा था, like Brené Brown, like she explained it so well. She said empathy is like she's like empathy is like indirectly you're giving a message that you're not alone. So by being there, by offering your presence, you're just letting the other person know that in your journey or in your struggles, you're not alone. Like I'm there to facilitate the process, or like be there for you, but you're leading it, and you have it in you to lead it.
So Khadija, कुछ questions भी आना शुरू हुए empathy के ऊपर. Do you want to take them? I can read them out for you, or do you want to first talk and then whatever you comfortable?
Whatever's can be. I think तो either if I talk and if I'm answering them automatically, वो भी हो जाएगा. I'm okay either way.
सही है.
Yeah.
So inspired quote ये कह रहे हैं कि empathy is derived from respect, care and support. But and then when we were talking about supporting, तो कहने लगे कि supporting someone is not empathy. I think. What do you think? Is supporting people empathy?
Is supporting people empathy? It depends on what this person meant by support. I think
Yeah.
if you are if I'm what I'm trying to explain by support is if we are actively listening, like if someone wants to be sort of, you know, like wants to be heard or wants
Yes.
to feel understood. तीन
Yes.
चीजों से empathy बनती है. Active listening से आप एक non-judgmental environment create कर लेंगे, you know, like you're unconditionally accepting
Yeah.
them for what it is and who they are.
Yeah.
And thirdly, आपकी genuineness. So all three together leads to then empathy.
Yeah.
That you're kind of there for them and you're understanding, because you have तीन चीजें करेंगे तो you're technically understanding them, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I personally feel that in a nutshell that's like supporting the person. But
I think
yeah.
inspired quote. We don't know what your name is. If you could put your name, we'll start calling you with your name. I think support से जो हम लोग को फौरन immediately आम राय आती है, वो ये आती है कि आप rescue कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
And yes,
Emotional
you are right.
support.
वो support का मतलब ये नहीं कि हमें support क्या लगता है, पैसे दे दो, हाथ पकड़ लो, ले जाओ साथ. That is not what Khadija is talking about. That's exactly what we were saying is sympathy. Sympathy में आप किसी घर जाके खाना दे देते हैं ना, किसी क्या फौतगी होती है तो आप क्या करते हैं, खाना ले जाते हैं sympathy में. And then empathy is different, right? So what would empathy be in this example?
In which example?
For example,
like
somebody
if someone
loses a
passed
family
away?
member.
Yeah.
Somebody loses a family member या किसी को COVID हो जाता है.
किसी को अगर हम कोविड का एग्जांपल लेते हैं, राइट, एम्पैथी ओवर देयर वुड बी द पर्सन, even if you reach out to that person by giving them a call, or asking them how they're doing, or asking them, you know, if they want to talk about something. If they're in quarantine, that's not the best of situations, you know, so maybe they just want to talk about how they're feeling or what's happening. And I think आपकी सिर्फ presence and just listening without giving advice will do wonders, because they'll feel lighter. वो सिर्फ, you know, that's what empathy is. Sympathy is if you try and actively do something about it. Unless they're asking you to do something, you don't need to. You just need to be present in the moment and address what they want to when it is that they ask for it.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of like almost preemptively, for example, if I have COVID and you are talking to me, then maybe आप मेरा एहसास कर रहे हैं तो आपको ये realize हो रहा है कि उरुज के आगे ये बात मत करो, ये उसके लिए touchy हो जाएगा, ये उसके लिए trigger. So you really आप एहसास कर रहे हैं कि वो क्या feel कर रहा होगा. And from there, I think sympathy is more about your need. Your need कि मैं अच्छा लगूं, मैं आके करूं, and empathy उसकी needs की तरफ जाना.
And wording से बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. Sympathy would be I'm like, oh वो आपको हो गया COVID, अब क्या होगा, you know, तो आप you're feeling sorry, आप pity करते हैं.
क्या हो गया?
Empathy okay, हो गया, like how are you doing, how are you spending your time in quarantine, you know, what kind of activities do you have planned for yourself, or you know, like if the person is really upset, then you just listen to what they're sharing, or if they're sort of saying that. लेकिन अगर आप ही sorry वाली चीज शुरू कर देंगे, that वो sympathy में आ जाता है, you know, कि आपके साथ कुछ बुरा हो गया उस टाइप.
ठीक है. So I'm going to read a couple more comments. So she empowers you is saying, understanding and supporting the person, any group, regardless of personal belief and differences, is empathy to her. And Hiba is saying, what if the person is confused between empathy and sympathy and doesn't talk about feelings or even try to be understood by others? तो फिर क्या किया जाए?
In that case, I think फिर हम उसी तरह करते हैं ना कि उस बंदे की need क्या है. If the person is resistant, I think, and if you are respecting that, that is empathy for them. You know, you're respecting their need. So if they don't want to even feel heard, that means they need time to themselves. So let it be until they feel ready. They know कि आप present हैं. As long as you send a message and you say, you know, if you ever want to reach out, I'm available, and you let it be. It's their choice. So that's
exactly. Thank you, Basit. This is a great topic, very well explained. This is much needed. Thank you. So I think this is a good segue, Khadija, to go into, क्योंकि ये हिबा के क्वेश्चन से मुझे ख्याल आया कि इसमें है कि क्या आप are you the one providing the empathy, or are they the one like that you want them to be empathic? So let's go into how do you do empathy for yourself. अपने लिए empathy कैसे की जाती है? अभी तक तो हम दूसरों की बात कर रहे हैं.
दूसरों की बात करते हैं. अपने लिए empathy इस तरह होती है. I think the biggest thing is कि आप empathy, again we're coming back to understanding feelings. If I am to start from scratch, right? it is about understanding how you are feeling. So acknowledging your feeling. अगर किसी situation में if you're feeling upset about something, if you're feeling like frustrated about something, I think the biggest thing is to acknowledge rather than to
Yeah.
suppress. कि मैं upset feel कर रही हूँ या मैं suppress हो रही like feel कर रही हूँ, whatever मैं अपनी feelings को suppress कर रही हूँ. So acknowledgement is the first one.
ओके तो यानी
It's
सबसे
about,
पहले एम्पैथाइज करने के लिए यानी एहसास करने के लिए पहले आप एक्नॉलेज करें, आप पहले माने कि क्या हो रहा है, पहले आप देखें क्या हो रहा है, लाइक आंखें ना बंद करें पहले आप. हाँ
and उसके बाद आते हैं once you acknowledge, I think the next step to it is your way of talk, like आपकी self talk, कि आप critical tone में बात कर रहे हैं या आप अपने आप से थोड़ी compassionate tone में बात कर रहे हैं, you know. And I think ये मैंने you know, if someone's interested, I have like 2 posts on empathy as well, और मैंने उसमें specifically लिखा था that, you know, growing up oftentimes very unconsciously, you know, children are often called out for their mistakes and for something that they've done wrong, and they're not praised as much. तो एक बहुत unconscious brain wiring होती है where they feel कि negatives are more important or stand out more, और positives को आप unconsciously neglect करते हैं even as adults. And उस thought process को थोड़ा सा change करना है. That's also when you are empathizing with yourself, right? Because if you're being critical, you're judging yourself, and judgment leads to a lack of empathy.
Yes, wonderfully explained. And that's a great example. यानी कि बचपन से हमारे अंदर एम्पैथी कैसे आ सकती है या कैसे, बिकॉज एम्पैथी को ये नहीं कि एक सिंगल फीलिंग है. खदीजा ने एक्सप्लेन एक हमें प्रोसेस कि पहले आप एक्नॉलेज करें, फिर ये देखें कि आप अपने से किस तरह की टोन में बात कर रहे हैं, आप अपने साथ क्रिटिकल पेरेंटिंग कर रहे हैं या आप नर्चरिंग पेरेंटिंग कर रहे हैं. और इसका खदीजा यू सेड लीड इज बैक टू द चाइल्डहुड. जब बचपन में माँ बाप पॉजिटिव नहीं इनहैंस कर रहे होते तो बच्चा यही सीख लेता है कि शायद नेगेटिव को इनहैंस करना पड़ता है, तो बड़े जाके उसकी अपने लिए भी टोन वही हो जाती है. ओके, एक्सीलेंट.
And another two steps. Yeah. And another form of that is just going back, because, you know, like I strongly feel also, because मेरा ये interest है working with like children and teenagers and stuff. I think it's a lot about आपकी बहुत सारे emotional experiences बचपन में हो जाते हैं, you know, and you're kind of learning to work through it and heal from it, and, you know, not repeat those patterns and things like that. So empathy, another form of that is, you know, it's about forgiveness, like forgiving yourself, forgiveness towards the self. And that is, for a lot of times you may feel like you let yourself down, or at times that you feel कि you were hard on yourself, and it's almost like एक nurturing pattern होता है, and nurturing that part of yourself आपका बचपन में, you know, like आपका, for example, I'll give you an example. Someone right now in their adulthood, maybe in their 20s, ठीक है, are somewhat really angry at their, you know, like they can't empathize with themselves, बहुत bitter हैं, बहुत like गुस्सा आता है and stuff like that, अपना एहसास नहीं कर पाते, and it dates back to something कि उनकी बचपन में उनको किसी चीज से रोका था, या उन्होंने खुद, you know, like maybe they did something that they're not proud of or something like that. उस part को जाके आपने empathize करना है. So it's like empathizing with your core to be able to empathize with yourself now.
Okay, मुझे समझ आया है, वो ये आया है कि यानी कि आपके साथ हो सकता है बचपन में कोई चीज हुई हो, आप 20 साल के हैं, एग्जाम्पल में हम दे रहे हैं कि अली is 20 and Ali is always angry. ठीक है, now Ali, in order to get better, Ali has to empathize with the 5-year-old Ali, 5-year-old Ali. अली का जो इनर चाइल्ड है, अली को उसके साथ एहसास करना पड़ेगा. सो एहसास अपने साथ ये नहीं होता कि जनरली उरूज अपने पूरा अपना एहसास कर रही है, एंड देन बिकॉज आई कैन ऑलमोस्ट सी पीपल थिंकिंग यार ये तो बड़ी सेल्फिश बात हो जाएगी ना कि आप हर वक्त अपना एहसास करें, बट अपने पेन के साथ एहसास करना, यार मुझे ये ट्रॉमा हुआ था. एंड आई एक्चुअली खदीजा, यू नो, आई हियर यू. I was talking to a client yesterday who was, you know, अपना एहसास करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. He kept saying कि आप मुझे tips दे दीजिए to do this. And I said, oh, what about your pain first? Let's go near the pain first. Okay. Pain first.
Yeah. And it's and when you're able to empathize with the child part of you, like बचपन के like 5-year-old or 10-year-old, तो आप again empathize में word use कर रही हूँ, आप you understand कि उस 5 या 10 साल के बच्चे पे क्या गुजरी थी, और अगर उसने react किया या misbehave किया जिसकी वजह से, you know, आपने एक अपना बिलीफ बना लिया कि मैं ऐसा ही हूँ या मैं ऐसी ही हूँ. So वहाँ से वो जब शिफ्ट थोड़ा सा आता है तो आपकी अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग थोड़ी बढ़ जाती है, you know.
And यहाँ पे वो this sounds like what you were saying कि आप दूसरे की जगह पे रखना. In this case अपने बचपन वाले अली की बचपन वाले उरूज की जगह पे अपने आप को रखना and realizing that what would they have gone through.
And I think it's the same thing again कि हम empathy अपने लिए कैसे सीख सकते हैं. Like if you have a friend going through something, you know, maybe going through something similar जिससे आप गुजरी हो या आप गुजर रहे हो, anything of that sort, you would often आप अपनी बस tone check करें कि how you would be there for your friend. In most cases, you would be more like caring. You would not be as harsh. आपकी यूज ऑफ वर्ड्स डिफरेंट होगा. आप शायद ये भी कह देंगे यू नो कि आई अंडरस्टैंड इट्स रियली हार्ड फॉर यू, बट अपने आप को वो कहना थोड़ा मुश्किल लगता है. यू नो वीड रादर से व्हाई आर यू सो सैड एंड व्हाई आर यू अपसेट, व्हाई आर यू एंग्री, हर वक्त ऐसे रहती हो, you know. So उन चीज़ों पे it makes a lot of difference. Like again comes back to self talk and working with like negative thoughts.
Yes, so much self love में भी जब हया हमने बात की थी, it's really अपने आप से आप किस तरीके से अपने आप को क्या बोल रहे हैं दिल में. डफर हो गए हो, बेवकूफ हो गए हो, तुम बहुत शोधे हो, but you know really your voice with yourself really matters. We have a question again from Hiba. Hiba is saying, what would you tell a person who is afraid of opening up in front of others, thinking that they will show sympathy, not empathy?
Right. So as in fear of opening up with the fear of being judged, basically. I'm guessing.
Exactly. Yeah. So what would you tell a person who's afraid of opening up in front of others? So I guess you're right, fear of judgment. And thinking that they will show sympathy, not empathy. यानी कि वो sympathy show कर रहे हैं और empathy नहीं कर रहे, तो इनको आप क्या बोलेंगे, कैसे? So I guess when आप किसी से एहसास कर रहे हैं, तो आप किस तरह approach करेंगे उसको?
Yeah, आप basically आपकी presence is everything. You know, अगर a lot of the times when people want to share, वो आपकी facial expressions को देखेंगे, आपकी body language को देखेंगे, और अगर आप which is why I'm constantly emphasizing on self-empathy, because when self-empathy is also very empowering, you know, like आपको उससे strength भी मिलती है. So when you're able to give off that kind of vibe कि अगले बंदे को ये feel हो कि ये मुझे empathize करेगी मेरे साथ, you won't feel sorry for me, so they will eventually start opening up. You can maybe open up that space for them to try and test. A lot of times होता है, हमारे साथ client work में भी होता है, that clients will often test कि ये you know थोड़ी सी बात करेंगे, and then it's up to you कि आप उसको कैसे hold करते हैं या आप उसको कैसे receive करते हैं, and then whether you allow the person to open up more or you kind of you know अगर आप खुद, and I'm not saying कि you would do it purposely, I think वो खुद होता है. Sometimes you can relate to somebody a lot और आपकी अपना कुछ trigger हो जाता है, तो you start feeling like bad about it, तो अगला बंदा थोड़ा shut down हो जाता है.
Exactly.
It's a tricky goal. Like I completely understand. Maybe it's easier for me to say, but it's all about how you're able to open up space for whoever it is that you want to offer empathy to.
Yeah, and an example is coming to my head is Khadija, almost like, for example, अगर आपके साथ like for example you had a breakup, right? आपका breakup हुआ है और आपका दोस्त आपको कहेगा कि oh my god, उसने तुम्हारे साथ क्या कर दिया, तुम की बेचारी, oh my god, I feel so bad for you, you know. एक ये है which is out of sympathy, and out of empathy would be like, you must be going through so much right now. यानी कि उसमें उस बंदे का कोई नाम ही नहीं है, ये तो इसके बारे में.
It's about you.
It's about you, right? So you must be. What are you going? What do you need right now? और जरूरी नहीं है आपको इल्हाम तो नहीं होगा कि empathy कैसे करनी है, एहसास. तो आप पूछिए, सवाल पूछिए, right? So you can also show your presence by asking the right questions.
And I think also by telling the person that you know it's okay to feel sad or upset or whatever the person is feeling, you know. I think when you say that, you automatically open up that space. वो judgment खत्म हो जाती है when you say that it's all right, you know, you can talk about it, it's normal, and like I may have gone through something like that, and it's completely okay to talk about it. So you kind of lift that thing off. And asking the right questions.
Basit is saying, but what about those who hide their feelings and then complain nobody cares about me? What about such people?
So that's a tricky question.
I know.
I hear you. Yeah. I think you know, if somebody if someone's kind of like hiding their feelings, you can't really probe or push them. I think again, if you ask them once or twice and kind of say that you are there, I think they wouldn't turn around and tell you कि आप थे नहीं, because you were there. And hiding feelings is about a matter of time. Like they're probably not being able to understand their own feelings, and उनको शायद लग रहा होगा कि आप उनके लिए present नहीं है. But in that case, I don't want to tell Basit that it's their own journey. तो आप उसकी responsibility नहीं ले सकते. And as long as you're present for that person, I think that matters much more than how, even if that person, I think that's another thing I wanted to talk about, not to take it personally. Because even if a friend comes back to you and says, well, you were never there for me, or you didn't ask me, it's a lot about what's happening to them. It's not about you. They're not pushing you away. They're probably just feeling really sort of, there's a lot of internal turmoil going on. Andar wo kafi upset ho rahe, which is why it's coming out.
खदीजा, तुम्हारी इस बात से ना एक एग्जांपल, बिकॉज एम्पैथी में, एंड अगर यहाँ पे कोई मेरी ट्रेनिंग फ्रेटर्निटी गए, दे नो कि हम एम्पैथी में बहुत बात करते हैं. इन वन ऑफ द, यू माइट नो आल्सो, स्टीवन कवी की बुक्स है, उसमें भी वो एम्पैथी की बहुत बात करते हैं, 1691 की एग्जांपल देके. सो एम्पैथी इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट जो कि सिर्फ थेरेपी में हम नहीं बात करते, ये बहुत हम बिजनेस में, स्ट्रेटजीज में, हर चीज में बात करते हैं. तो उसमें एक पिक्चर गूगल पे आपको मिलेगी अगर आप एम्पैथी ढूंढे. तो एक आदमी डूब रहा है, राइट, एक आदमी डूब रहा है और उसके आगे 3 लोग खड़े हुए हैं. एक आदमी ने उसको डूबता देखते हुए छलांग लगा ली. एक आदमी दूर से खड़ा हुआ कह रहा है मुझे तो कुछ नहीं, सानू की. और जो तीसरा आदमी है वो सोच रहा है कि डूबा है, कितना गहरा है, मैं, वो रस्सी दे रहा है उसको निकलने के लिए. एंड दीज आर द 3 एग्जांपल्स ऑफ एम्पैथी, सिंपैथी एंड एपैथी. यानी कि सिंपैथी में ना आप डूब जाएंगे, आपको भी नहीं पता. तो अब वो जो आपका दोस्त है बासित, वो नहीं कह रहा, अब आप उसको उल्टा आ जाए और कहें कि लाइक तुमने ये नहीं किया, आप भी डूब जाए उसके साथ. वर्सेस आप समझ, द मिनट यू सस्पेंड द जजमेंट कि भाई वो क्यों कर रहा होगा, समझने के लिए, राइट, तो फिर ऑटोमेटिकली आप एम्पैथी में चले जाते हैं. बासित कह रहे हैं थैंक यू, वेरी वेल एक्सप्लेन, थैंक यू सो मच. बिकॉज पीपल टेक इट पर्सनली व्हेन somebody says you're not there. So your point about not taking it personally, like so many things in therapy, boundary. अच्छा, सारा कह रही हैं hello, Yusra Singh, hello, and Haya also joined us a little while ago and said hello to both of us. And Sarah saying there's a lack of empathy even within our close one, like our parents and siblings, because some people just don't have the concept of empathy. They leave it and say God will do better, just pray, etc. What do you have?
I understand, and it's kind of painful to hear that when if someone feels that there is no empathy. But that's when I say that as adults, why don't you start with sort of working towards empathy? Sometimes आपके actions, they seep into the family. You start modeling that kind of behavior, and you don't have to say it. आपकी behavior को लोग आहिस्ता pick up करना शुरू कर देते हैं. So if you, let's say, if someone with their parents or with their siblings or anyone in their family feels that अगला बंदा is not showing empathy and it's kind of like just like अक्सर कहते हैं leave it to God, and then it's just like हाथ रख के बैठ गए type thing, but it's, you would want कि थोड़ी सी आपको support मिल जाए. Again, emotional support is what I need, and kind of like taking it from there. But अगर आप, if you start off with self-empathy, and if you are able to show empathy to them very deep down, slowly, there's always a shift in behavior. I am a firm believer of that ये with time आप notice करते हैं that बहुत subtly आप अपने तरीके से दूसरों को सिखा रहे होते हैं in a very polite way. So
आप मॉडल कर रहे होते हैं ना, बिहेवियर
मॉडल कर रहे होते हैं.
यानी कि जब आप खुद एम्पैथी करेंगे अपने साथ, तो लोगों को पता होगा कि भाई अगेन बासित इस तरह करता है, राइट. बासित एम्पैथाइजेस विद हिमसेल्फ एंड हेंस, और होता भी है कि जो अपनी इज्जत नहीं करता वो दूसरे को इज्जत नहीं दे सकता, जो अपने लिए बाउंड्री सेट नहीं करता वो दूसरे की बाउंड्री नहीं सेट करता. So it's an almost integral step, like you said. First be empathic towards yourself, then be empathic.
And then and I think it's always, if you try, like अगर आप कभी upset हो and you feel that somebody didn't come and ask you how you're feeling, but in like if there comes a time where someone in your family needs that presence, try and be there for them and see how it feels for that person. And that is what really modeling is, because if that person will then realize how nice it is to feel heard and to be understood, and maybe because they have experienced that, they can offer it to you. अक्सर जो नहीं ऑफर कर सकते, they're usually also in a way either hurting or they're bitter, and that's why self empathy again comes back, you know.
Yes,
कि आप अपना
exactly.
ख्याल रख सकते हैं तो आप किसी और का एहसास कर सकते हैं.
और ये भी बहुत ब्यूटीफुल बात की खतीजा तुमने कि जो लोग नहीं दे पा रहे एम्पैथी वो शायद तकलीफ में हैं,
तकलीफ
नो
में
उनके उनकी तकलीफ इतनी है कि वो आपकी तकलीफ कम नहीं कर
नहीं
पा
समझ
रहे.
सकते.
आपको ये और ये फिर आपके ऊपर आता है कि आप समझ रहे हैं
Yeah.
कि उन्होंने ऐसा क्यों किया,
क्यों
बजाय
किया?
इसके आप कहें कि उसने ऐसे बिहेव किया, उसने मुझे ऐसे इग्नोर किया. आप ये समझना चाहें, एहसास करें ना कि अगर वो ये कर रहे हैं तो क्या गुजर रही होगी उनके
क्या
ऊपर,
गुजर रही
क्यों
होगी
कर रहे होंगे.
Yeah.
वेरी गुड. सो आई एम गोइंग टू आस्क पीपल कि अगर और एम्पैथी के सवाल हैं तो करें जब तक खतीजा और मैं अपनी बात भी. खतीजा, बिकॉज आई नो you had a point about like how to do empathy for others, and do you have anything left from that, because otherwise then we'll move to child empathy. Because
Sure.
I
I think from talking about empathy towards others, I think just a few tools that I came across that I would want to share in terms of developing empathy for others also.
Very good.
I think I was reading up on this and I really wanted to share it with all the viewers who are watching it. It's about, you know, when you want to sort of work towards becoming more empathic or working towards developing the skill a little more, I think if you're able to challenge yourself, what I mean by that is, you know, get yourself or do something out of your comfort zone, be it something professionally, be it something personally. But what that does is that when you go through a certain level of struggle and hard work, it makes you humble. Again, struggle से आपकी अपने emotions और feelings सामने आते हैं थोड़े से, right? Nervousness होती है, anxiety होती है, fear of failure होता है, a lot of other things. And the key to empathy is humility. So it's just one of those ways. It's a very, when I was reading it, even initially मुझे भी था कि challenge yourself in empathy, like how would that go hand in hand? But it's really about कि जो struggle से आप गुजरेंगे, you'll start feeling for yourself and hence for others. You know,
यानी कि true struggle से इंतज़ारी आएगी. You know, मेरे नाना कहते थे कि जो दरख्त फलदार है वो झुका हुआ है. जो दरख्त इस प्रोसेस से गुजर चुका है, you know, all the processes, वो झुक जाएगा. तो जब आप गुजर के कहीं से जाएंगे तो फिर you are actually more humble, which is इंकिसारी आपके अंदर ज्यादा है, ना कि आप, you know, अकड़ नहीं आएगी आपके अंदर. So एहसास करने के लिए इंकिसारी जरूरी है.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I think another form. Sorry, आप कुछ कह रही थी?
नहीं, मैं तो question पढ़ रही थी, but I'll ask you after you're done with this.
Okay, sure. And another thing, I think that if someone really wants to develop empathy is about, you know, if you go out and do volunteer work, there is nothing more than that which can really, you know, interacting with different kind of people, interacting with different kind of experiences. It gives you exposure. It teaches you the resilience of people. You know, like हम शायद सोच भी नहीं सकते certain struggles in life, but the way people, you know, are back up and it's interacting with them, learn so much about people, about lives, and I think that's another way of inculcating empathy within you for others.
So true, because अगर तुमने किसी एहसास करने का, I think best तरीका तो ये कि उसको आप महसूस करने के लिए आपको तजुर्बा करना पड़ेगा, right? So you have to experience things. So that's why वो therapist जिसका दिल टूटा है, वो therapist who has lost close ones, वो therapist will be a better therapist, right?
Yeah.
And इसी तरह के वो दोस्त जिस आप कहते हैं ना कि यार he's lost his parents so he can understand me. So अब obviously खुदा ना खास्ता आपके साथ हर तजुर्बा तो नहीं हुआ होगा personally, but you can go and meet people. You can go because एहसास करने के लिए आपकी आंखें तो खोले ना पहले. Exposure. Again, like that dog example, because I saw yesterday's coming back to me. I feel like if only when you interacted with pets will you know what it is to lose a pet.
What it is. Yeah.
So very good example. That I really like it. That's
and I think
I want to tell everybody that Khadija has an active blog. Khadija, please तुम कहीं पे इसमें लिख देना कि तुम्हारे blog का नाम, लेकिन मैं भी जब ये share करूँगी तो लिखूँगी, because Khadija talks about this amazing stuff on her Instagram as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And I think just another thing, Joe, I think I link it to children when we come towards talking about empathy towards children. It's not being, trying not to be dismissive of feelings. एंड हम ये भी बहुत अनकॉन्शियसली करते हैं, यू नो, लाइक इफ समवन इज शेयरिंग समथिंग, वो चीज़ हमें शायद इतनी बड़ी ना लगे बिकॉज मे बी वी बिन थ्रू समथिंग बिगर, और मे बी यू नो इट्स नॉट सच फॉर अस, मे बी इट्स नॉट समथिंग बिग, so we may say, oh, it's not a big deal, oh, it'll be fine, get over it. These things really can affect someone who is going through something. And what I really firmly also, one other thing that's really close to me is that, you know, a problem can be big or small, like वो बड़ी problem हो सकती है, वो छोटी हो सकती है, but how a person feels या उसका impact उस individual पे क्या है is far more important than weighing कि problem बड़ी है या छोटी है, you know. So understanding pain from their perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So acknowledging people's pain, यानी कि dismiss करने का मतलब तो नहीं 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 इतनी छोटी सी बात है, कोई इतनी बात नहीं है, क्या हुआ, ये करने के बजाय आप समझिए कि उनके लिए जो भी हुआ है बहुत बड़ा हुआ है,
बहुत बड़ा हुआ है.
तो
एंड इसका एंड इसका एग्जाम्पल आई थिंक फॉर चिल्ड्रन मुझे बहुत आई जस्ट रियली पर्सनली लाइक दिस एग्जाम्पल, यू नो, लाइक बच्चों के साथ अक्सर होता है, ऑब्जर्व्ड अ लॉट, लाइक यू नो, ग्रोइंग अप, आई थिंक मेरे साथ भी शायद हुआ होगा कि आपका कोई टॉय टूटता है एंड दैट्स लाइक अ रियली ओल्ड टॉय या बड़ा पुराना सा है, रियली लाइक यू नो वन ऑफ दोज वेयर यू नो somebody would end up saying कि ये तो फेंकने का ही था, और you know like whatever, trashy anyway. But that उस toy की value for that child was perhaps a lot more, and for us to say कि oh it was anyway really old, throw it away, it's fine, it's not going to help the child. The child needs to know that, you know what, you lost something, it's something broke that you really liked, and I'm sorry, you know, like I know it might be hurting you, and so that is empathy versus dismissing.
बिल्कुल, जब बच्चों की बात करेंगे थोड़ी देर में तो ये तो बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज बच्चों की चीज तो वाकई बहुत सिंपल होती है. तो मैं अपनी से बात कर रही थी और उसने कहा कि मैंने उससे कहा कि ये इतना ड्रामेटिक करके कोई स्टोरी सुना रही है, एंड आई वाज ट्राइंग टू टेल हर रेजिलियंस, एंड मैं कहा लेकिन देखिए इतनी बड़ी, एंड देन आई इमीडिएटली करेक्ट माय सेल्फ, आई सेड यस दिस मस्ट बी, यू आर राइट भैया डिड अ वेरी बैड थिंग, and you know to that concept. अच्छा मैं 3-4 सवाल आ गए, हमको आंसर मैंने तुमसे कहा था आधा घंटा करेंगे, लेकिन आई नो वी ऑलरेडी 40 होता नहीं है. Okay, so Salisa is saying, is empathy something that can be learned as a soft skill, or does it come naturally to a person? Certain careers require you to be able to empathize with people, and not many people understand what this means.
Yeah. So empathy is basically, it's an inborn trait, but over time for children also it's something that needs to be nurtured. It's something आप enhance कर सकते हो, या it's something जो बिल्कुल ही खत्म हो जाती है या कम हो जाती है, खत्म तो नहीं होती, but I think थोड़ा एक like back bench पे चली जाती है. And talking about empathy, I think you can develop as a skill, you can develop empathy at any age. What you were talking about, the tools to develop, which जो volunteer work जहाँ आया था, and acknowledging and all of that, those are ways of allowing yourself to become more empathic towards others. But I would really tell you that start with yourself and it'll fall in place. I live by.
मुझे याद आ गया हमारी क्लास में कोई एक, बस छोड़ो क्लास की बातें क्लास में होंगी, लेकिन but that's so true. Empathy can be seen in kids. You can see आप बच्चे को sensitive label कर देते हैं, लेकिन बच्चे के अंदर क्लास होता है कि oh what must they be going through, they'll say things like that, you know. You know, like my kids will tell me like, Popo, are you doing this, oh my god that must, so they are feeling it, and you got to or you can develop it. Okay, next sawal is from Hiba. Does your experience play a role in showing empathy for, I know you've already spoken about this, in showing empathy for others, but you could recap it. So yes, Hiba, Khadija ने already बताया कि experience बहुत critical है. In fact, she said experience is one of the ways you can gain empathy. Basit is saying, rather than saying it's nothing, you'll be okay, I prefer to pamper him or her, or at least give them some comfort. So Basit, इस पे हम बात करेंगे अभी जब ये बच्चों के बारे में करेंगे. And Sarah is saying, people label the one venting out as a crybaby, and it feels so absurd to listen to such comments. Okay, yes, it does. So
it's very unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate.
It goes back to acknowledging it.
Yes,
because आप कोई चीज
बोलो. हाँ,
नहीं, मैं ये कहती कि हम वही चीज़ जब हम किसी को क्राई बेबी कह देते हैं, दैट पर्सन यू नो इट बिकम्स अ लेबल, एंड वो शट डाउन मोड में चले जाते हैं, यू नो, दे डोंट एक्सप्रेस. एंड आई थिंक over time as you keep growing up, वो bitterness में develop होता है because उसका कोई outlet तो होता नहीं है. And I would tell, इसमें is a very important thing. I think when you do want to confide in someone or you want to share with someone, I think it's very important to know कि आप किसके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं और who you're opening up to, because it's important कि वो बंदा is connected to him or herself too, then he'll be able to hold you, he or she. Yeah. तो अगर आप किसी बंदा who is very disconnected or is already going through something, if you try and open up to, because maybe his feelings were dismissed, or for them it was kind of like not a big deal, तो वो he or she learns to dismiss other people's feelings also. Bullying भी ऐसे often शुरू होती है.
Yes, बिल्कुल. और बिल्कुल बात भी कह रहे हैं कि यही है कि ऐसी आप जब आप लोगों को, I think labeling someone like cry baby etc is the main reason people hide their feelings. Yes, because of judgment, right? लोग क्या कहेंगे, लोग ही तो बोलते रहते हैं रोती रहोगी, cry baby, रोनू वाला baby, like
इतनी sensitive ना हो,
too sensitive, oh my god, इनसे तो cool रख के बात करो etc etc, and you could become oversensitive. Having said that, and there has to be a balance. Inspired quote is saying, what is the relation of support with empathy? अच्छा, मैं जब तक मैं खतीजा के साथ children पे जाऊंगी, I am going to ask you, I have a feeling this is Hussein, but I don't know, because I think I've interacted with him on my DMs. Inspired quote, please put a name. It's so funny to call you inspired quote all the time. Explain what you mean by support. इसलिए कि खतीजा, मैंने पहले भी आपके सवाल में यही पूछा था कि आपका सपोर्ट से मतलब क्या है, बिकॉज फिर हम आपको समझाएंगे कि इस तरह की सपोर्ट का एम्पैथी से क्या ताल्लुक है. तो खतीजा, हमने सारे ने भी काफी और बच्चों के बारे में बात किया कि बच्चों को किस तरह, क्या उनको पैम्पर करना चाहिए, किस तरह एक्नॉलेज करना चाहिए, तो बच्चों में एम्पैथी कैसे, एंड व्हाटएवर यू हैव रेडी फॉर अस ऑन चिल्ड्रन एंड एम्पैथी.
So I think for children the biggest thing is, again, जिस तरह आप अपने लिए या किसी और के लिए करते हैं, the first and foremost thing is acknowledging the feeling. Sort of just if a child, and with teenagers they're still able to talk about कि उनको क्या feel कर रहे हैं या कौन सा emotion. For children, I would say उनकी language इतनी develop नहीं हुई भी होती, right? So what you can help them is, you can help ask them, that first में, open-ended questions से आप start कर सकते हैं, like how are you feeling or what's the matter. If they're not able to say it, you say, like, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? You label the emotion, but we have to be very mindful to not label the child. Because अगर हम if we label the child कि ये तो sad child है, ये तो angry है, ये तो बहुत grumpy है, and I know हम मजाक में, I think मैं खुद कभी मजाक में करती हूँ, then एकदम से मुझे thought आती है कि ये तो labeling हो रही है.
Exactly.
So yeah, and we have to be very careful about labeling that emotion, and what that does is, it's almost like, one of the psychologists I was reading of said, name it to tame it, because when you name the emotion, और in other words जब हम acknowledge करते हैं, उसकी intensity थोड़ी कम हो जाती है. You can try it. Like आप सिर्फ, I often say, you put your hand to your heart and you say, I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling upset. उसकी intensity automatically थोड़ी कम हो जाती है.
Yes.
Same applies to children. They need coaching in that, because they're kind of like growing, developing, learning, and you can coach them through language and to explaining how they're feeling.
Yes.
Another way is the emotion chart also works with kids, like angry, sad, upset, so they can pinpoint and then you can talk about it. It's really just allowing them to talk. That's what they want.
So it's so important what you said. You are feeling anger, but you're not an angry child. यानी कि तुम और क्या बोले, you're feeling pain, but you're not always in pain child. You cry, you feel like crying doesn't mean you're a cry baby. तो इमोशन से आप लेबल मत बनाए बच्चे का, और उसको भी अलाउ करें कि वो अपने इमोशंस के साथ कंफर्टेबल हो. एंड दिस वंडरफुल एग्जांपल्स यू सेड दैट वी कैन आस्क ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चंस बच्चों से कि आप कैसा फील कर रहे हैं, और आप उनको जब आप एंड खदीजा दिस अमेजिंग टूल गाइस कि अगर आप अपनी एक्नॉलेज करते हैं कि मुझे दर्द हो रहा है, तो वो दर्द कम हो जाता है. Like I think मैंने भी अपनी रिसेंट पोस्ट में बोला था कि you have to sit with it, you feel to heal. जब आप फील करेंगे तो आप हील करेंगे. जब आप अपनाएंगे, that's a fire alarm. So my head was like, I hope it's a joke or a fire alarm and not a real fire alarm. It's gonna keep going on, which probably means we have a sign to wrap up as well. So Khadija, because I don't know when this will stop.
Sure.
Yes. So tell me, what is your end takeaway for empathy? What is the one thing you think people who are listening to us right now to develop empathy, वो किस चीज से start कर सकते हैं?
So I think मेरा सबसे biggest message that I want to share with everyone is that empathy stems from your heart. You know? And हम as individuals, we are often caught up in our mind. हम problem solving होते हैं. We try to find solutions to something. We try to work with ways of like trying to fix a problem. You know.
Yeah.
And empathy is really about, you know, आपके हमारे actions या हमारे behavior, they're very unconsciously linked to how you're feeling.
Yeah.
और हम ज़्यादा precedence अपने mind को देते हैं, like thoughts को देते हैं, how to work with that. That's what we kind of work towards. And it's about aligning the two, you know, almost like, and what I mean by that is it comes back to acknowledging feelings. I think that is the biggest thing. And one other thing that, you know, before we wrap up, I think when we've spoken a lot about empathy, it's about to be mindful of toxic empathy. Anything in abundance is unhealthy.
यानी कि
So
आप
it's
खाली
really
एहसास में मरे जा रहे हैं या आप सिर्फ एहसास ही किए जा रहे हैं किसी और का एंड हेंस आप लाइक डूब गए एहसास में
डूब गए. And I think ये तब होता है जब आप toxic empathy mainly is जब when you're over identifying with somebody's concerns or struggles and you're really sort of absorbing it. तो आप अंदर ही अंदर उसको ले रहे हैं. It's taking a toll on you, and that's when you have to separate yourself, because empathy is between two people. It's between the other person and it's between you. And it's important to be like, that's why self-empathy and empathy towards others. अपनी self-empathy को अगर हम बिल्कुल पीछे छोड़ देंगे, it becomes toxic. And another thing is that a lot of the times, you know, and it's especially in like our sort of family situations or close friends and stuff, it often happens that we are too overly understanding to the extent कि वो शायद हमें hurt भी कर सकती है. You know, we may be taking mistreatment or disrespect, thinking कि oh, you know, the person is going through a lot.
तो जाने दो
हाँ. But that will lead to detrimental effects for yourself in the long run, you know, because आप एक तरह से अपने आप को reject कर रहे हैं. And again, coming back to when I say empathy stems from the heart, because I strongly, you know, I was just thinking about how I should explain this, and this came up in my mind and I wanted to share that it's almost like if you take your heart out, right? Your heart tells you that you are you know, you're offering empathy to everyone around you, but what about me?
Yeah.
So it's very important to be able to have that boundary where, you know, it's integrated but in a healthy way.
Yes, and that's so wonderful because Khatija, मेरे तो दिमाग में एक सवाल तो दूसरा सवाल और because it's so wonderful as to how do we balance, and I'm just throwing it out as something where I'll convince Khatija to come here again and talk about कि balance कैसे होगा, because ये जो एक सवाल होता है ना, selfish, selfless, you know, इसके बीच में apathic, you know, what is the right balance? मैं कितना करूँ, कितना empathize करूँ, and what if it's costing me my heart?
Yeah.
What if it's costing me my comfort? So you said it's really important to not go into toxic empathy and कि ज़बरदस्ती नहीं करें. So Lisa is saying great conversation, Khatija and Aruj. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. But yeah, I think keep checking in with yourself, and that is one way of balancing, you know, like if you keep checking in, अगर आपके लिए कोई चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा difficult हो रही है, or if empathy is being too overwhelming for you, that means it's becoming toxic for you, and there has to be some subtle separation for you to just understand कि मैं एक boundary, I think आपकी boundary पे भी हया के साथ session हुआ था, so that's about, basically it's about healthy boundaries around you. Those are very important to sort of in life generally, in any aspect. So yeah, that's about it.
Makes sense, Khatija. I know I asked you to come in for 30 minutes or for 50 minutes. मैंने तुम्हें खींचा और अभी भी, you know, I think कि मैं खास के कम कर रही हूँ, वरना तो हम बोलते रहेंगे, because I know कि वो टिकर बजने वाला है, because it allows us to run out. But we'll definitely come back with you, Khatija. You've explained things so well, so wonderfully. We've had so many comments, and people are also saying thank you so much for it.
Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, and thank you for having me here and giving me the opportunity. I think, thank you.
Your
thank you for making it so comfortable. You know, live sessions are always a little iffy, but
no, I think we have a connection, so it's definitely easy.
Of course. Yeah.
All right, then I will catch you guys later, and I'm going to log off now because my alarm is still going on, so I'm going to go check on that. Thank you, Khadija.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.